Hey guys, welcome back or to my channel. If you've read the title of the video, you already know what this is. But today I decided I wanted to rank the sturniolo triplet surprises that they did on tour. For you guys who don't know, but I assume you probably do know, because I assume you're a sturniolo fan like me. Nick, Matt and Chris just did a tour around America and one Canadian show in Toronto. And on each one of the tour on each one of the tour stops, they announced a surprise that the others didn't know about, unless it was a duo surprise. So, for example, there was like a Nick and Matt surprise that Chris didn't know about. If it was a Chris solo surprise, Nick and Matt didn't know about it. I decided I would want to do a video just yapping about them and ranking them because I love being a fangirl, and I just felt like needing to talk about those surprises because, oh my god, it's a lot. Like, I was shocked. I hope that some of you guys agree with my opinions or disagree. I love having friendly debates, so let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what your favourite one is, what your ranking is, all that. There was 15 surprises in total. I'm going to go from my least favourite to my favourite. I know I said this already, but I really like being a fangirl, so I really want to talk about my stands. I think being a fangirl is incredible. Like, I've made so many friends through friends. I was trying to be like sentimental and stuff, but I just can't speak, so it doesn't come out right. But I've generally made so many guys. I've made so many friends through fandoms, and I'm just so many memories, and I just love showing my love for people. At number 15, I chose to put Chris and Matt's pancake surprise, where they did the 24-hour challenge eating pancakes in Denny's. I do think it was entertaining, however, I don't think it had much of a whoa, shocking, like anyone can go out and eat pancakes. Well, anyone could go out and do any of the surprises, but you know what I mean. I also don't really like pancakes. I don't know if it's because I've only ever had egg-free ones or what. I'm also not a big fan of watching like people just eat food to the point they feel sick. Kind of makes me feel sick. Like, you know when you watch something and you feel like start feeling the feeling. I still find it was a fun vlog, and I feel like that's what I want to say. I love how all the surprises are like little vlogs as well, because vlogs are my favourite type of content. Not just of the triplets, but of everyone. I just love watching vlogs. I love watching little bits of like what people do. So I did find it entertaining in that sense, but compared to the other surprises, I just don't think it was like up there. At number 14 was Nick sold Girl Scout cookies. Now, I was a scout, not a Girl Scout. I was a Girl Scout. I never sold cookies. I did bunning sausages though. And I do think it was sweet. I think it was cute. I just think the other surprises topped that. Nick's hilarious though. Nick actually makes anything so funny. I love like his jokes he makes. And it was a funny video. It was a cute video too, because like little girl and stuff. But yeah, it's just not up there. Number 13 was Chris with Nathan for the Bros weekend. I do think this was funny. I thought it was entertaining. I loved it. But when I think of the other surprises, I just think the other surprises were a little bit better. It didn't have a shock factor. We see them hang out with Nathan all the time. That's pretty cool. I do think it was pretty cool of Chris to go and do it by himself. He's probably done maybe not a full Bros weekend, but he's probably hung out with Nate by himself. So it's not really much of a trying something new. And it's not something us as fans haven't seen in content, I guess, in a way. However, the content was pretty cool. Like, I can't wait for the actual vlog to come out of it, because I've only seen small bits from clips, and I thought it was pretty funny. Like, he put rose petals down and stuff. Bromance, bros before hoes. Number 12 was the Emily Morgan Hotel with Chris and Nick. Now maybe we don't all know. I need to not say we all know, because I don't know if you guys know. But if you don't know, or if you do know, Nick, Matt and Chris did a collab at the Emily Morgan Hotel with Sam and Colby. I love that type of stuff. See, I don't know if I'm a huge believer in the supernatural and in ghosts and spirits. I believed in it to an extent. Definitely not as much as some people. But I do find it hard to think that there isn't anything out there. I thought this video and this surprise was entertaining. I found it funny when Chris accidentally scared Nick by shutting the drawer. I find it cool that they went alone instead of with Sam and Colby, because I personally would never go somewhere that's meant to be haunted. Like, no. However, I did like it. I think it was the first surprise that was announced. Or was it I don't know. It was one of the very first surprise. So my memory's a little bit, not as refreshed with it. But I found it very, I liked it. Number 11 was Nick doing gymnastics. I used to do gymnastics when I was little. I know how hard that is. It's a lot harder than what it looks. Actually, it does look hard, but I mean, it's a lot harder than what it looks. Like I said, I do find Matt, Chris, and Nick all entertaining. So my humour is definitely a lot more like Matt's humour. However, I find Nick the funniest. I don't know if that makes sense. I thought it was pretty cool of him to go put himself out there, do a new skill, especially because he's said himself that he's not the most coordinated person. And that's okay. I'm also not that coordinated. I trip over literally thin air. Gymnastics is hard, so him doing a new skill and putting himself out there was pretty cool. I have it at number 11 because I think compared to some of the other surprises, it's not much of a whoa, but it's still a oh my god, good on you, you did that, that's entertaining, that's funny. I say entertaining a lot, but I generally believe that all the surprises were entertaining. I just think some were more of a shock factor or more of a heartfelt moment. So that's another reason a lot of these ones are lower, is because I don't find them as heartfelt. Nick trying gymnastics, that's cool, but compared to some of the other surprises, it's not doesn't make me want to cry, or it doesn't make me, it was funny, but it wasn't okay. So number 10 was Matt trying the hot air balloon. I found that so beautiful. I found it beautiful. I actually really want to go on a hot air balloon. It's literally been on my bucket list since I was little, since I knew what a hot air balloon and what a bucket list was. However, the only thing that's stopping me is I'm scared of falling out. I'm generally terrified of falling out. And I know the chances of falling out are really low, but the idea of not being strapped in scares me. I just love that type of stuff. I'm a very, it was nature, but it wasn't really nature because hot air balloon is man-made. But I'm a very, I love seeing nature, I love seeing outdoors, I love seeing people do activities. And also, Matt looked so happy doing it. He generally looked like he was in his element. For someone who said he was scared of heights, he did not look scared at all. I love seeing people do stuff that makes them look, makes them feel happy. So I loved that. Let me know if you guys have ever gone on a hot air balloon, and if you have, how scared did you feel versus how, happy did you feel? Because, as I said, I really want to go on one, but I'm scared I'll have, a panic attack or something. Talking of panic attacks, the next surprise that is number 9, I don't think I could ever do. It's Matt going on the stunt plane. That was so cool. Whoa. I don't think I could ever do that. I feel like I would throw up. Throw up from either anxiety or from going, upside down. The idea of going upside down in the sky, especially, I like staying upright. But I found it so cool that he went and did that. And, some planes are super cool. I could imagine, these people who drive them, having so much control over something. I struggle driving a car. I could not imagine driving a plane, especially one that you're doing tricks on. I find it brave to do something like that. Number 8 was Matt and Chris in Hawaii. Okay, I want to make it very clear that they said they were going to swim with sharks. One of my predictions was that for the surprises, was that one of them swam with sharks. I'm sad they didn't get to do it because I think that would be an amazing experience. It's one of my dreams to swim with sharks. I'm such an animal lover. I love animals. I want to swim with sharks so bad. I love sharks. I think sharks are so misunderstood and I just love sharks. So I think that would have been really cool. Obviously, it didn't work out for them, so they ended up having to adapt. I like the way, I thought it was a cool moment to see them hanging out. I like vlogs, all of them are vlogs, but that was really the style of vlog I like, just seeing people do activities and just vacation / holiday vlogs, whatever you want to call it, same word means the same thing. no, a different word means the same thing. If they did the swimming with sharks, I feel like it would be higher, but because they couldn't do it, and that's not their fault, like they said, things didn't work out, it is at number 8. I found it cool doing the zip lines when Matt, the instructor Matt, not Matt Sturniolo, pushed him. I think they said his name was Matt as well. Into the middle again. That was funny. They did a bunch of different things, like they tried the pork sandwich, which made Nick jealous. I would so do that. I would deliberately do that. It's just annoying. Just to like, it's such a sibling thing doing that, you know? I think it would be higher if they hadn't ziplined before, but because they have ziplined before, it is at number 8. However, like I said, they adapted, and I love how they didn't just give up and film nothing. They adapted. They were like, okay, we can't do the sharks. We can't do the sharks, but we can do these. Ziplining, oh my god, I've done ziplining before. You get the worst wedgie ever. Like, it's... But it's super fun and adrenaline. Like, I get so scared, but when I've done it, I've got so scared but so excited. And also, it's like, you get to see things, but sometimes you go so fast that you're barely processing what's going on, that you're not seeing things though. But it's so fun. If you ever get the chance to zipline, I highly recommend doing it. Number 7 was Chris makeover Nick and Matt's room. That was in Philadelphia, at the Philadelphia show, I think. I thought that was funny. And I think it's funny because he did their Boston room. Keeping that from someone would be hard. It just shows that they hadn't been back to the Boston in a while. I like how he got his parents involved, Mary Lou and Jimmy. Mary Lou looks so happy in that video. She carried Queen Mary Lou, like, and also, like, I know this is how it works with genetics and stuff, but Chris has Mary Lou's laugh. Like, they have the exact laugh. It's so cute. I just think it's funny because I don't think Nick or Matt are going to change their room from pink. I think it's just going to stay that way. Because it's not like it is their home, but it's not like it's their LA home. And shown us, they do go back to Boston a lot, but it's more so their parents' house now and where they grew up. It's their home, but it's not their house. Like, it's their home and their house, but it's not, you know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to go out of their way to change and repaint it. So that's why I think it's so funny. Number 6 is Chris with the spider, like, facing his fear of spiders and having them crawl over him. Okay, so personally, I think spiders are misunderstood. I think a lot of people are scared of them because a lot of spiders are venomous, and a lot of people aren't educated on which ones are and which ones aren't. I worked with spiders at one of the places I've worked with. I actually had to feed, I think it was like 100 baby tarantulas, and they each were in little containers, and I had to feed them crickets each. I wouldn't go and say I love spiders, but I'm not scared of them. However, I can understand why people are scared of them, and I know that it's a genuine fear a lot of people have. So I think Chris having them crawl on him was super, super brave, because I think anyone facing anything that they're scared of is brave. Yeah, I love seeing that because I love animals. I love seeing people, especially when they're scared of animals, getting less scared of them. Like, he said he was still scared of them, but he said he felt less scared afterwards, which I think is the whole, like, that's the important thing, because like I said earlier, with spiders and any animal really, I think it's more so people aren't educated on them, so they get scared of them. Yeah, and just me as an animal lover, it was really, really cool to see. Number 5 was Matt's Boston surprise of him being Nick's Uber driver. Okay, I know it was technically a Matt and Chris surprise because he dragged Chris into it. But also, if you think about it, I don't know how else he could have pulled it off without dragging Chris in it and guaranteed that he'd still be the Uber driver. One, that mask, the fact that, like, Nick couldn't tell it was his own brother. Whoa. And I'm pretty sure at the start of the video, Matt said something too. Also, the boot, like, unlocking made it 10 times funnier. Like, I know he didn't, because he generally couldn't unlock the boot, but that made it 10 times funnier. And just the way that Nick apparently told everyone, and the fact that Nick messaged Chris read out the messages that Nick messaged him about the Uber driver, and you just see at one moment Nick staring out of the window. It's like he's thinking about every decision he's made that led up to him being there. Matt pulled it off so well too. And I loved how at the show he went off stage and did a little outfit change. That was cool. That was cool. The number 4 was Nick going on a date with a girl, aka Tara. Okay, so this wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't as shocking. Like, it was a little bit shocking, but it wasn't that shocking because Nick has mentioned multiple times that he is a gay man, but he would kiss a woman. So the kiss, it was like shocking, but it wasn't like as shocking as I think people were making it out to be. I do think sometimes people are a little bit dramatic about those type of things, because it's all jokes. That was all jokes. Like, obviously there's no attraction there. It was for fun. It was for funs. Sometimes you just need to kiss someone for fun and not actually mean anything. The reason it's number 4 is I love Tara. Well, I watch a lot of her videos. I don't watch every video, but I do watch a lot of her content. I think she's amazing. I think Nick going and spending some time with her was pretty cool. And it was just nice seeing their friendship. It was nice seeing them together. And as soon as he said doing something I've never done before and then followed it by a date, I was like, okay, it's gonna be with a girl. Though, because I was like, there's no way that man hasn't gone on a date before with a man. Like, the pasta that they had that was eaten, what's the word? I don't know. That was in that video. Looks so good. I love pasta. I'm like, if I could have one meal for the rest of my life, it would probably be pasta. And I know there's lots of different types of pasta, but like, yeah. And number 3 is Nick and Matt diss track Chicago. Okay, I do think people are overusing Like Me now. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool that they got in the studio, especially like, I think a lot of people predicted that maybe Chris would get in the studio, and I saw some people predict Matt. I don't think anyone thought that Nick would get into it. So I think that's why I made it 10 times better. I think the lyrics were like top disses. I love a good diss track, especially when it's not serious and when it's just jokes and when the person involved isn't actually hurt by it. Like, Chris was laughing at that. And I know Chris low-key ate that track up because he loves music. I also think them announcing it in Chicago, where, like, Chicago's known for a lot of rappers and a lot of music stuff, was pretty cool. Pretty, like, I don't know if they meant to do it like that, but I liked that. My bird started singing Like Me, and it goes, like me, yeah. Like, I can't do it how they said it. I'm not musically inclined, and I know they just did it for fun, but they're more musically inclined than me. I like seeing stuff in the studio too, whether it's serious or whether it's not. I just find the whole music stuff and making music interesting. And I think the music video was pretty cool, like the way they did it. I love Nick's jacket in it. And yeah, so that's why it's number 3. Okay, number 2 was Chris's tattoo. Okay, so I predicted, for one of my predictions, I said, I reckon Chris will get a tattoo. However, I also said I feel like it's highly unlikely. Like, I was like 50-50 on the fence. I was like, I reckon he would, but I feel like it would be very hard to hide. And then he goes and shows everyone that he got a tattoo for Nick and Matt on his ankle. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it wasn't that shocking because a lot of people predicted it, including myself. However, it was shocking because of the fact that he had hid it since November. Like, that's impressive. And like, Nick and Matt, his brothers, are people he's with most of the time. And he hid it from them. Also, those band-aids must work amazing because so many band-aids just fall off. Because he covered, for you guys who don't know, he covered his tattoos with band-aids. And I think him getting it for Nick and Matt, getting Nick and Matt's name is so sweet and so wholesome. And just, it's like, there's nothing more than dedicating your love for someone than getting a tattoo of them. And I think because it's siblings, like, if it was a relationship, which is obviously, I mean, like a romantic relationship, which obviously is not because they're siblings, I'd be like, oh, that's cute, but I don't know. I don't find tattoos for romantic partners interesting, but when it's family, I'm like, that is so sweet. That is the sweetest thing, especially them being triplets. And at the end, he was like, do you really think I would ever get just Nick to Matt? Like knowing that he would get both his brothers. I know and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he doesn't get Justin. Guys, I don't think you understand that they're triplets. Justin's their older brother. Yes, it's a brother, but it's a different type of relationship. Okay, number one, my favorite. Okay, so I was like debating between putting Chris's tattoo at number one or this one at number one, but I ultimately decided to put Nick doing full drag at number one, because I think expressing yourself and putting yourself out there is not only brave, but one of the most beautiful things you can do. Him doing drag, when he has talked about how he likes watching RuPaul's Drag Race and how he's an openly gay person, was so inspiring, so beautiful. Him doing it in New York too. Well, obviously, like, you're not gonna do it in some other places because you just don't know how people will react. So New York makes the most sense. I loved it. Like, I could cry. His speech at the end made me cry. And I know some people like, that is dramatic, but I don't think, like, just seeing someone put themselves out there, and Nick, for me, and I don't want to sound too parasocial, because end of the day, I just, like, through a screen, I haven't met this person in real life, you know? End of the day, but he inspires me every day. So do Chris and Matt. Like, Chris and Matt inspire me a lot to do what I love, do what I want to do. But Nick inspires me so much every single day. Like, he's probably one of the people outside of my direct friends and people I know in real life that inspire me the most. He inspires me to be the best version I can be, to be 100% myself. And if anyone hates me for that, that's not my problem, because the people who genuinely like me will like me, and that's what Nick inspires me. So seeing him do drag and knowing it's something that is so important for him, but also by him posting it, by him doing it as a surprise and putting it out there, is so important for everyone, and so important that this person that people look up to, they see that doing that, and it inspires people. You guys, I hope you guys know what I mean when I say that. I love Nick so much. Like, he just inspires me a lot. So seeing him do drag, and Sugar and Spice, they're amazing. They smashed it like always. And I'm glad that he has them as people he knows that he could do it with. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, just seeing him do drag, like, it has to be my number one to a surprise. Like I said, his speech did make me so emotional. And he looked amazing. Like, Benny Jill, she ate everything, served everything. Also, I don't know if you guys know this quote, but I have watched some RuPaul, and RuPaul says, everyone is born naked, the rest is drag. Technically, that's so right, because, like, everyone is born naked, and you're just expressing yourself through clothes. Drag is just expressing yourself. I think I already said this, but I truly mean it. One of the most beautiful things you can do, I think a person can do, is be 100% themselves and express themselves. Whether it's through drag, whether it's through art, whether it's through sport, whether it's through whatever they want to do, expressing yourself is beautiful. If you're not saying anything hurtful to anyone else, and you're not harming anyone else, being yourself, being 100% your authentic self is beautiful. And seeing people like Nick, who have a following, who I also know because he has said that it was hard for him, like, to accept himself growing up, which I understand. I don't understand exactly what he's gone through, but I do understand how hard it is to accept yourself and notice that you are different to maybe the people around you. Seeing him do that, as I've said, inspiring. I have no other word to explain it but inspiring. So yeah, that is why it's my number one. Yeah, I just adore Nick. Sorry, yeah, that's why that's my number one surprise. And like I said, I was crossing between that and Chris for the number one surprise, but I just think I don't know, I just think drag tops it for me. I feel like it's hard to compare some of the surprises because they're totally different things. Obviously, both, for example, the tattoo and the drag means a lot. Obviously, like, even Matt doing the air balloon, I saw a lot of people complain about it, and it's like, do you not realize how important it is to go out and put yourself out there, whether it's out of your comfort zone or just go out and do stuff? It's so important. And I love that. I generally loved all the surprises. I do think the pancake one is definitely my least favorite, just because it was kind of like not shocking at all. Actually, it was a surprise. it was definitely a surprise. Like, the pancakes were definitely a surprise. I didn't expect them to do something, I don't know. And I think it's also because when you look at the other surprises, you cannot compare pancakes to getting a tattoo. You cannot compare pancakes to drag. You can't compare pancakes to going on a stunt plane and going upside down. And that's no hate. That's no hate because, like I said, I still found it entertaining. I just think it does not compare at all. So that's why I feel like as much as I enjoyed ranking these, it is hard to rank things when they're on total different scales. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favourite surprise was. Let me know your ranking. Let me know if you've ever been a hot air balloon. Let me know if you're scared of spiders. Oh my gosh, I got hair in my eye. Anyway. Sorry, I don't know why I crushed out of that. It's not that bad. I got it out. But yeah, I just think the surprises were pretty cool overall, and the tour was so cool. I saw so many of my friends and mutuals meet them. Tours always make me emotional because I haven't been able to go to any of them, but I've always seen, like, I've always seen since the first tour so many of my friends meeting them, and it makes me so happy, and I'm so proud of them. Like, generally, they, like I've said, they inspire me a lot. So to see them being successful and doing stuff is really good. I love seeing people being happy. I love seeing people successful. Let me know, like, I really want to talk about more fandom stuff. I keep saying this, so I really want to do more fandom stuff because I love being a fangirl. Like, being a fangirl is one of my favorite things. I don't understand what people who aren't fans of things, like, what do they do with their life? And I don't, like, everyone has, like, surely everyone's a fan of something, and sometimes people are more, like, extreme with how much they're a fan. But, like, if you like the color blue, aren't you a fan of it? If you like one song, you're a fan of that song. If you like a sport, you're a fan of that sport. I feel like I could not imagine, like, just having no, like, yeah, I couldn't imagine not being a fangirl. I love being a fangirl. I love my friends. I love supporting the artists, YouTubers. I just love it. I love seeing events. I love being able to talk about it. It brings me happiness. And I think it brings so many people happiness to be in a fandom. I know for a fact it brings me a lot of happiness being a fangirl. And I think in a world where there's a lot of sadness, where there's a lot of hatred, I think expressing your love or being in a community where you guys are all there for the same thing, whether it be a band, a YouTuber, a singer, a sports person, or anything else, or book, whatever, is so beautiful to just meet people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different races, different genders, different sexualities, to all come together and support one thing and just talk about it is one of the most beautiful things. Thank you for watching. Also, I was going to rank all of Nick's shirts in a video, but I was like, I don't think that would be that entertaining. I don't even know if this is that entertaining. I just wanted to yap and get my thoughts out there. It would be like me saying, ooh, 1, 2, 3, 215. I don't really have much to say about the shirts other than I think they were creative. I like how some of them tied into some of his surprises. I know it must have taken a long time to do all the gems. I would not have the patience to do 15 gems shirts. So hats off to him for having the patience for that. But because I just say what each shirt says and rate it 1 to 15. I might make a TikTok on about that actually. I don't know yet. So I just got the new Space Camp drop today, Kool-Aid, and oh my god, I'm so excited for that. I feel like Kool-Aid, I had it as a child. It reminds me of my childhood. So I feel like it's like healing something inside me. And I love doing stuff. I love when stuff I know would make my inner child happy, but also makes myself now happy. Yeah. Anyway, I said I was going to end this video. So and I decided to yap more. What can you do? What can you say? Say? I don't know. Apparently, I can say a lot. So, see you guys.